2025 Roland Garros is shaping up to be the best slam we've had in years, and we've only gotten through 2 rounds. Day 5 treated us to some even more crazy 5-set thrillers, some spicy upcoming 3rd round matchups, and a timeless moment with 3 tennis icons. Bonjour, je m'appelle Christian Basnight, and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post my Day 6 Roland Garros recap video. So y'all know I've been on TNT's neck all tournament, but I gotta give them props and give them 10s when it's due, because they truly had an exceptional interview moment with Venus Williams, Sloane Stephens, and Coco Gauff today. The trio talked after Coco's 2nd round win, which I'll discuss later, and they talked about a wide range of topics. First, they had Venus opening with her giving Coco her flowers and telling Gauff how proud she was of her, and also offering the American star some words of wisdom.
Just so proud of you too.
Oh, thank you.
And she's had a great year so far. And I know you have big dreams to win this tournament. You've been so close.
Yeah.
And you can absolutely do it.
Thank
but you have to do it 1 match at a time.
Yes.
But she's got the goods.
Honestly, it means a lot to be here and to hear that from you. And
Right.
yeah, I never would have thought when I pick up a racket, I would be here, sitting here with you and having this conversation.
I'm so glad you're here.
Coco also spoke about how Venus and Serena inspired her to be the fashion icon that she is today.
Obviously, you guys being the icons, I knew when I was young, I was like, I'm going to be that girl who cares about her fits. And also, I feel like being a Black woman in this sport, like so much part of our culture is fashion, and I wanted to bring some of that and continue to bring some of that into our sport.
And then there was a funny yet therapeutic moment for Venus where she talked about Coco and Sloane both holding 2-0 head-to-heads against her.
And you guys have played so well against me too. I'm like, these two have beat me and didn't care.
I did.
Well, it felt like I was like, is this what I deserve? No. This is like actually therapy right now. You know,
To be
we can
fair,
talk through this.
I loved every last thing about this whole 16-minute interview. If y'all have not watched it, go to Bleacher Report after you finish watching this video and watch the whole thing, because it was truly something. Seeing all 3 of these tennis icons from 3 different generations come together and talk, putting aside anything that happened in the past, their previous matches and stuff, and having just a great moment for the culture. Like, again, that was one of the moments of the tournament for me. Probably will end up top 2 moment of the tournament for me, for sure. And again, it was therapeutic for Venus and for me as a Venus fan, because I was salty about those wins that Sloane and Coco got over her at the US Open 2017 semifinals and then Wimbledon 2019, because I'm a Williams sisters fan above all. But I can't be too upset about those losses, because Sloane went ahead and got her first slam at that 2017 US Open, and then Coco, that was her big breakthrough moment. So again, love Coco and glad Sloane got her major. And I think this will be a life-changing moment for all 3 of these women too, because you have Coco hearing her idol give her words of wisdom like that, and then Sloane reflecting on her place in tennis history, Black tennis history especially. And maybe a moment like this can motivate Sloane to maybe get back out there and make one final good push before she calls it quits. And then Venus too, directly seeing her impact in the success of both Sloane and Coco, that must have been special for her too. Again, I gotta give TNT their 10s. This does make up for the issues that I had with them earlier in the week. Right now we're on a clean slate, but it does not mean I'm gonna let them off the hook forever, because let me tell you,
ain't no river high enough, ain't no ocean deep enough, ain't no desert hot enough to keep me off your ass, baby.
Now focusing on the tennis action, Coco's 6-2, 6-4 win over 18-year-old Terry Valentova in the 2nd round was nowhere near as impressive as that interview was with Venus and Sloane. Coco was so-so from the ground, but that serve was a big issue. She hit 2 aces, 6 double faults, and won just 19% of her second serve points. And Coco was broken 5 times, which means 5 out of the 6 games she lost was due to her getting broken. If she took care of her serve, this easily could have been like a 6-1, 6-love type of win. I know we can't read too much into Coco's early round performances, as the American does tend to elevate her level when she needs to, when she faces greater opposition, and she definitely needs to elevate her level in the next round against Maria Boskova. Boskova is not seeded, but she looks good. She beat 30th seed Anna Konskaya in straight sets in the opening round and followed that up, only losing 5 games to Sone Kartal. If Coco is not on her P's and Q's, she can lose this match, as Coco lost her last match against Boskova back in 2023 at the Italian Open. Marie is very consistent. She's not going to give Coco many easy errors like her first two opponents did, so Gauff needs to for sure lock in from the ground. Marie does have a weak-ish serve, so Coco shouldn't feel too much pressure in trying to hold, but she still needs to have a much better serving day than she did against Valentova. This could be the match that Coco needs to kind of play herself into form for the rest of the tournament. Yes, her draw does look good, but she is guaranteed to face a woman who's beaten her previously in the fourth round in either Veronika Kudermetova and Ekaterina Alexandrova, and both of those two women earned very impressive round 2 wins over Barbora Krejcikova and Elisabetta Cochereto. Still, I think that Coco should clear Marie and make it to the second week. To be blunt, I am really surprised at how open a lot of the sections are in this bottom half of the women's draw. Madison Keys is going to be a pretty strong favorite to make the quarterfinals once again in Paris. She dominated Katie Bolter 1-3, and she improves to 9-0 in slams this year. I mean, I've had this in the back of my mind really ever since she won the Australian Open, but maybe be on calendar slam watch with Madison Keys. She can play well on every surface. Again, she loves playing well in the slam, so again, keep an eye out for Maddie. Keys next faces compatriot and 31st seed Sofia Kenin, who got a solid 7-6, 6-4 win over fellow Australian Open champion Victoria Azarenka. Maddie holds a 3-1 head-to-head record over Sofia, but Kenin's lone win came on the clay back in 2019, so you never know what could happen. The winner of that one could face another American in Haley Baptiste, who backed up her great round 1 win over Beatriz Haddad-Maia with a 6-3, 6-2 win over Nao Habino. We were sadly denied that all JTCC matchup between Haley and her good friend Robin Montgomery, as the 20-year-old American lost to Jessica Buzas Minero 6-4, 4-6, 7-5. This will be a heartbreaking loss for Montgomery, as she led the Spanish woman 4-1, 30 love in the third set, but she's still very young, again 20 years old, and if anything, it'll be a solid learning experience, so that way she can improve and do better in the next time. And I think she will be back in this position, and she'll make her Roland Garros third round for sure. Another queen who bit the dust on day 5 was my dear Alicia Parks. She lost to 22-year-old French wildcard Elsa Jacquemot 6-2, 6-7, 6-1. I am proud of Alicia though, because she saved 3 match points down 2-6, 4-5. Alicia did really well to force the third set, plus Jacquemot took a long bathroom break that I think really disrupted her rhythm. Plus Parks had a tough battle with the crowd, who was fully on her opponent's side. Of course, Jacquemot is French. Now Elsa will face another 22-year-old French wildcard in Loïs Bosson. If you don't remember, Bosson was on the offending side of that Harriet Dart smelly incident. Bosson backed up her round 1 upset over Elisa Mertens with a dominant 1-2 victory over Angelina Kalinina. At the bottom, Jessica Pegula will be the favorite to make the second week. She plays Marketa Vondrousova, who took out Magdalena Freck in 3 sets. Their last and only meeting was very memorable. It was the Wimbledon quarterfinals back in 2023, where Pegula fumbled a 4-1 lead in the deciding set. So we'll see if Pegula can get her leg back here. Mira Andreeva's section actually has all seeds intact. Mira plays Yulia Putintseva, which I think Andreeva should clear okay, as Yulia, she's been playing not that great all year, and her opponents that she's beaten have been Kaya qualifiers. Then below, we have Daria Kasatkina and Paula Badosa facing off. Paula's body is still holding up strong after another 3-set battle against Elena Gabriela Ruse. Kasatkina just knows how to turn up for a slam, so we'll see if she can make the 4th round at Roland Garros yet again. Now, talking about the men, Arthur Fils claimed the most memorable match of the day when he defeated Spaniard Jaume Munar 7-6, 7-6, 2-6, love 6, 6-4. I knew that Munar would pose a problem for Fils because he had a strong season, or he has had a strong season thus far, beating the likes of Medvedev. He beat Shelton twice, and he also beat Sebi Korda en route to the Rome 4th round. And I knew he could be especially tricky on clay for Fils because Jaume does not give opponents many freebies. Fils grinded through the opening 2 sets, of course, and tiebreakers, but he let his foot off the gas big time, and he lost 10 straight games ultimately between the 3rd and 4th sets. He looked really, really down and out and struggled to move, and later said that he was dealing with a back issue and cramps, and that back issue, he has cited that a few times earlier in the year. It wasn't looking good for the Frenchman, who trailed 1-3 in the 5th set. He also went down love 40 at 4-all, but he somehow mustered up the the energy to fend off the break points with some strong shot making, and then he hobbled over the finish line with his 5th break of serve. Archer had an excellent reaction after claiming the victory. He gave us the big gun show, ripping off the shirt and letting the crowd have it. And the crowd for sure was one of the main reasons why he got through this match. Of course, giving credit to Feast for having the mental fortitude to even do so himself. But Feast said himself in the press conference after the match, the crowd really pushed me to win this match because I think if we were playing in Asia or whatever, I'm not sure that I could, first of all, even finish the match. It will be intriguing to see how Feast recovers in time for his 3rd round match against Andre Rublev, who got through Adam Walton in straight sets. Feast did win their last meeting in Monte Carlo last month, convincingly 6-2, 6-3. Plus, Archer has the crowd edge, and the Parisian crowd might very well get under Rublev's skin. If his back is okay, I think that Archer will take this win. I think that it's poetic also that on day 5, a French phenom had his first big standout moment at Roland Garros, while a former French phenom had his last. Richard Gasquet, 38 years old, played his final match against Yannick Sinner, losing to the world number 1 by a score of 6-3, 6-love, 6-4. Gasquet was touted as France's next big tennis hope, but he ultimately lacked the tools to challenge the big 3 who dominated his era. Still, he accomplished a lot. He reached the top 10, made 3 Slam semifinals, 16 ATP singles titles, and he claimed over 600 ATP main draw wins. And of course, he will be remembered forever for that beautiful one-handed backhand. And I think it's a fitting end for Gasquet in his last match to come up against the world number 1. Up next for center is Yuri Lehechka, who defeated 26th seed Alejandro Davidovich Fokina in 4 sets. Now, my favorite match of the day was one that truly lives up to the hype, and that is Jack Draper defeating Gael Monfils 6-3, 4-6, 6-3, 7-5 to make his first Roland Garros 3rd round. This match had everything, just exceptional shot making from both guys here, and I was impressed for one by how well Monfils came out and played this match and pushed Jack after grinding through that tough 5-setter round 1 win where he came back from 2 sets to love down. Really, this match could have been much more straightforward for Jack in the 4th set because he was 1 for 11 on break points. And yes, Jack did get tight at some parts of the match, particularly with his forehand side as he shanked a few times, but you gotta credit Gael for some incredible shot making and just being so clutch and really laying it all out there when his cookies were against the table. Is that a saying? Anyways, you could also argue that this match could have gone 5 sets as Monfils led Draper 5-2 and he had 30 love at 5-3 when he served for the set. But you just really got to give credit to Jack's mental toughness. He put all his missed chances and the crowd being fully against him to the back burner and just locked in and tested Gael's nerve and physicality. He could have easily given up in that 4th set and just saved himself for the 5th set, but he was rewarded for his fight, and that's a testament to just how mature he's gotten this season alone. Really just props to Jack for that win. And I really love that these two had a lovely embrace at the net, and I just enjoyed how Gael enjoyed himself out there. He, of course, wanted to win this match, but the way he was smiling out there, having those funny and nice interactions with Odell Beckham Jr. in the crowd, this is what he lives for. And he talked about earlier in the year in Australia how he plays for the love of the game. He doesn't really care too much about going all the way and winning a slam. That's not really his priority. He's just out there because he loves it. And the fact that he was able to pull off 2 back-to-back incredible matches at 38 years old is otherworldly. So props to Monfils for another great showing, even though he didn't go as far. A great showing. He would have beaten most of the tour for sure with how he played today. Draper's win sets up a mouth-watering 3rd round match between him and Joao Fonseca. Fonseca made his first slam 3rd round, defeating Frenchman Pierre-Hugues Herbert 7-6, 7-6, 6-4. I was impressed by how well Herbert played in this match, not gonna lie. He did have his chances to make this more of a match, but Joao was just too solid in the end. Fonseca and Draper have played just one time before, earlier in this season, where Draper absolutely demolished the Brazilian 6-4, 6-love. I do think this one will be more competitive, and I think that the atmosphere will help Joao, as he'll have probably most of the crowd on his side because the Brazilians love to show up and show out for their own. Now the question is Fonseca ready for a 5-set grind against Jack Draper? I honestly don't think so. I think Jack will be a step up in class, and he proved himself in this Monfils match that he can handle the physicality of a tough 5-set match. I'm feeling Draper in 4 in this match. Now, I thought for sure that we'd have an Alex de Minaur and Jakub Mensik 4th round clash, especially after both guys breezed through the first sets in their 2nd round matches, only barely dropping any games. but both guys were sent packing in 5 sets. Jaume Munar lost to Alexander Bublik, while Menchik fell to Portuguese qualifier Enrique Roca. This was a beautiful moment for the 24-year-old Enrique. This is his slam main draw debut, and it's one to remember for sure, and I feel like not enough people are talking about him. Jack is the only seed remaining in his little section, and the same can be said for both Alexander Zverev and Novak Djokovic, who look very much on that clear path to facing one another in the quarterfinals. Zverev, I say, has a little bit more of a challenging section as he next plays Flavio Cobolli, who's been playing tremendous tennis thus far. He is hot off a title and unborked the 500 there, and he just scored a solid 4-set win over compatriot Matteo Arnaldi. I could see Cobolli for sure push Zverev to 5 sets, but I think that Alex will ultimately come through in the end, but wouldn't be surprised if Cobolli got the W. Down there in the bottom, gotta shout out American Ethan Quinn. He got a huge win, coming back from 2 sets to 1 down over lucky loser Alexander Shevchenko. He won that one 6-4, 4-6, 6-7, 7-6, 7-5. And this is a massive win for Ethan because it's his first time making a slam 3rd round, and the win also secures him a spot inside the top 100 once the tournament is all said and done. Ethan now plays Talon Griekspoor for a spot in his maiden slam 2nd week. Griekspoor defeated the big serving Canadian Gabriel Diallo in 4 sets. Now looking down at Novak Djokovic's section, it looks really good. He got a solid straight sets win over Corentin Moutet, and he now faces Austrian qualifier Filip Misolic. My apologies for mispronouncing your name, Mr. Misolic. The 23-year-old is playing in his 2nd slam main draw tournament, and he defeated 27th seed Denis Shapovalov in 5 sets. Honestly, I can't even say I'm surprised because Shapovalov just knows how to lose to anybody, but congrats to Filip on the win. Djokovic will likely play Cam Norrie, who faces off against his compatriot Jacob Fernley, who got a retirement win from Ugo Humbert. Flashing forward to day 6, I'm kind of confused at why Jasmine Paolini is on Philippe Chatrier over Rabakina Ostapenko. That doesn't make sense to me. Even over Swiatek and Christian doesn't, again, I'm not understanding it. But anyways, I think that Sabalenka Dililovic could be very interesting. I think that people might be underestimating the Serbian there. I am really looking forward to Tiafoe Korda on Suzanne Lenglen. You also got Zhang and Vicky M facing off on Simone Mathieu, and then followed by that is Khachanov and Paul, and then shout out to Clara Towson and Amanda Anisimova dueling off on court 14. That is all I have for this day 5 Roland Garros recap video. I know I kept it rather short and sweet for this one because I gotta clock into work at 5 a.m. and it's already 1:30 a.m. as I speak. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on everything I touched on in this video. Of course, Venus, Sloane, Coco, that touching interview with TNT, as well as the Feast win, the Draper win, whether you believe that Fonseca will beat Draper, and also your thoughts on Coco's game and whether you think that Boskova or anyone else in her section can trouble her before the quarterfinals. Again, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post my day 6 recap. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support, and I'll see you all next time here on Christian's Court.